Evening, everybody. As I'm already starting to really stutter and stammer because I'm pretty excited about the episode that I'm going to talk with you guys today, because so many moments that I've had have been defined by me choosing to react in the way that I'm going to talk about rather than the way that we think we're supposed to act. Moment I've noticed over the years, usually before practice starts or right after a tough workout. When athletes aren't listening to what you're saying, they're watching who you are. They notice your tone, your patience, whether you're present or just going through the motion yourself. That's something I had to learn the hard way, because early on, I thought coaching was all about having the right words, the correct energy, the right speech at the right time, regardless of the situation. Being a sage with your words of advice at any given second. Over time, though, I've realized something far more important. You don't coach by performing. You coach by connecting. Athletes do not need a show. They don't need perfection. They don't need someone who has it all figured out. Because I'll tell you what, I do not have it figured out, but my team, my coworkers, those around me, we all seem to do pretty well. Do we have hiccups? Heavens, yes. Of course we do. But what we all need is we just need someone that sees us. Someone who understands that confidence isn't always loud. That effort doesn't always look the same. That some days just showing up is the win. Connection starts when you stop trying to sound like a coach and you start sounding like yourself. I'd been coaching for about 5-6 years, and I had an athlete, a young man. He went through something that was really hard for him. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what that is because ultimately this is his story, not mine. But I take part in it a little bit because the way that I responded was correct in the moment. He was going through this hard time, and rather than trying to give him advice, trying to help him get over it immediately, we just took time to be around each other. During that time, we went for a lot of runs, and during those runs, we talked a lot. Most of the time, we talked about anything under the sun, which it was summertime, so there was a lot of sun. So there was a lot of topics. But the thing that happened to him obviously did come up. I didn't give judgment. I didn't pass judgment on him or the person that was involved. Obviously, I did have my opinion, but my opinion didn't matter. What mattered was that my athlete knew that they had somebody that was trying to be there for them during this hard time. When athletes feel connected, they're going to trust the feedback that they get from you. And when they have that trust, they're going to take risks. They're going to stay and they're going to try harder when the things get hard. They're not just going to give up. If they don't have that trust, if they don't feel connected with you, they're going to shut down. They won't perform for you and they won't do it with you. They may still perform for themselves, and eventually they're going to drift away. A lot of people think that when you're connecting with someone, you're making yourself vulnerable, and therefore it's weak. You can't afford to be vulnerable. Don't do that. One of the biggest things that makes us weak as a society is we think that our vulnerability is something that we shouldn't let ourselves do. Yes, it sucks having shame. It shucks being embarrassed. But who cares? I know you do, and that's why you have the shame and that we have the embarrassment. But life is going to go on. We can either choose to dwell on that, or we can just keep moving forward. When we connect, we don't have to try to lower our expectations. We can let them know, honestly, I think you can do this, but if you prove me wrong, we both win. Because not only did you do better than I thought you would, but since you did better, we, as a team, are doing much better than what we thought we were going to do. And that's part of the thing. Occasionally, we're going to say the right thing at the right time. My goodness, it was probably my second year coaching. And we had a young lady who was pretty dang fantastic. In fact, she is a professional runner right now. But she always remembered one phrase that I said to her that I didn't even know I said to her. until her brother brought it up when he was talking to me about how she used that line with him, and she gave me credit for it. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that kind of sounds like something I would say. And all it was I was just talking with her a couple weeks before state. And I was already talking to her about making sure that we put ourselves out there, because no one's going to think that we're going to win, but we're going to. She said, oh, that's kind of bold, coach. Do you really think we're going to win? I was like, yeah, of course we're going to win. You're going to win, and we're going to win. Well, we have a returning state champ, and I haven't beat that other girl all season long. I'm like, that's exactly why no one's expecting you and why it's going to happen. Because they're going to go out, they're going to battle each other, tire each other out, and then it's going to be you that runs away from them at the end. Because you're the one going in with your eyes open to the whole thing. They're focused on just a small portion of it. And that's the battle between them. You're running the whole race. They're running just the race against that one person. Remember that as we're going through our lives day to day. Don't focus on just one aspect. This goes with everything in your life, not just athletics. It goes when you're trying to teach, when you're trying to parent, no matter the team that you're coaching, whatever team you're on, whether you're a spouse, whether you're being human. People don't remember how polished and perfect they were, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. And particularly if you made them feel safe when they are around you. So if you're coaching right now, or you're leading any team, and you feel pressure to have all the right answers, or you think you have to have the right answers, or you assume you do have all the right answers, you need to let that go. And I'll tell you this, if things aren't going the way that you think they should, and you think that all the answers you have are right, stop. Stop trying to give the right answer and start asking the people that you're leading for the answers. And I'm not talking about your right-hand man or your person sitting to your left. I'm talking about everyone. When I'm looking for answers, I just don't ask my assistant coaches. I ask my athletes. I ask my students, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think we should do? Here's A, B, and C. What should step D be? We don't have to perform all the time. We need to connect. We need to be present. We need to be honest. We need to be human. That's where trust grows. That's where effort follows. That's where real progress happens. Because at the end of the day, you don't coach by performing. You coach by connecting. Now don't forget, I want to see you run free, run fierce, and run wild.